Hello, I'm Abha. Directions. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, the author would be most likely to agree that propaganda. Now, if we look at the last few lines of the first paragraph, it's stated here, as the art and science of manipulation come to be better understood, the dictators of the future will doubtless learn to combine these techniques with the non-stop distractions which in the West are now threatening to drown in a sea of irrelevance, the rational propaganda essential to the maintenance of liberty, individual liberty and the survival of democratic institutions. Now, these lines very well suggest that rational propaganda is essential to the maintenance of individual liberty and the survival of democratic institutions. Now, this is what is stated in option number 1. Can serve a vital function in democracy. So, answer is option 1. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Abha. Directions. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, the early advocates of universal literacy are mentioned as. Now let's look at the first few lines of the paragraph. The first paragraph. In regard to propaganda, the early advocates of universal literacy and a free press envisaged only two possibilities. The propaganda might be true or it might be false. Now here the author gives that they envisaged two possibilities, that the propaganda could be concerned with the true or the false, and the author wishes to show that the ideas were limited and the propaganda today is mainly concerned with the unreal. So in other words, we can say the author only wants to mention these ideas to form an introduction to the idea that he wishes to discuss, and this is what is given in option number 3. The early advocates he discusses as the proponents of an idea that he wants to further discuss in the passage. So, proponents of an idea that the author wishes to counter later. So, answer is option number 3. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I am Abha. Directions. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, the author refers to Brave New World as a fictional example of a society in which, what does he try to do with it? Here in the first paragraph, it's given here, in Brave New World, non-stop distractions of the most fascinating nature are deliberately used as instruments of policy for the purpose of preventing people from paying too much attention to the realities of the social and political situation. The other world religion is different from the other world of entertainment, but they resemble one another in being most decidedly not of this world. Both are distractions, and if lived too continuously, both can become, in Marx's phrase, the opium of the people, and so a threat to freedom. So it is to keep the people away from the realities of social and political situation, and that is there in option number 3. Entertainment is used to keep people away from full awareness of social realities. So answer is option number 3. That is, the author refers to Brave New World as a fictional example of a society in which entertainment is used to keep people away from full awareness of social realities, which the author has suggested in the few lines that we have just read. Thank you. करके दिखाएंगे. Hello, I'm Abha. Directions. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, by intelligently on the spot, the author apparently means. Now look at these. Let's look at these lines in the first paragraph. The author states, only the vigilant can maintain their liberties, and only those who are constantly and intelligently on the spot can hope to govern themselves effectively by democratic procedures. A society, most of whose members spend a great part of their time not on the spot, not here and now, and in the calculable future, but somewhere else in the irrelevant other worlds of sport and soap opera of mythology and metaphysical fantasy, will find it hard to resist the encroachments of those who would manipulate and control it. So it's very obvious from these lines that he is trying to create an awareness of the actually and potentially real thing as opposed to the unreal. And this is given in option number 4. Conscious of political and social realities. So intelligently on the spot, the author means to be conscious of political and social realities. So answer is option number 4. I'm sure it's clear. Thank you. Karke dikhayenge. Hello, I'm Abha. Directions. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, it can be inferred that the author believes that the Leibnizian model is. Now if you look at this, these lines of the second paragraph, where it says, without process of selection, we should be obliged to assume a pre-established harmony after the famous Leibnizian model, by means of which the clock of the evolution of organism is so regulated as to strike in exact synchronism with that of the history of the earth. Now he puts an exclamation mark after giving this statement, and this exclamation mark at the end of the sentence shows that the author thinks that there should not be any acceptance of the idea, or any acceptance would be silly to take it. That is, it should not be put into consideration, not be taken into consideration, which is there in the fourth option. That is, through these lines, or when he talks of Leibnizian model, he putting a question mark, putting an exclamation mark at the end, he gives it that it is unworthy of any further consideration, which is given there in option number 4. So answer becomes option number 4. Thank you. Karke dikhayenge. Each of the passages given below is followed by a set of questions. Choose the best answer to each question. The question is, the primary purpose of this extract is to. Now if we look at the first few lines of the second paragraph, it's given here, the principle of selection solved the riddle. It is to solve the riddle as to how what was purposive could conceivably be brought about without the intervention of a directing power. The riddle which animate nature presents to our intelligence at every turn, and in face of which the mind of Kant could find no way out, for he regarded a solution of it as not to be hoped for. So something that was intriguing, something that was ambiguous, that riddle could be solved, and that is given in option number 1. The author's primary purpose in this extract is to suggest that a particular theory, that is the selection theory, explains otherwise the puzzling phenomena. So answer is option number 1. Option 1. Thank you. Karke dikhayenge.